Coinbase files a brief with the courts asking it to dismiss its case against the SEC. PayPal launches its own stablecoin pegged to the US dollar known as PYUSD. And the last thing, Ripple joins the international swaps and derivatives markets known as the ISDA for short, with big names including Blackrock, Citigroup, JP Morgan and Chase, and Bank of America. So make sure you guys tune in all the way to the end of this video to find out all the details. Hey guys, it's Ryan with Big Dog Investing. Thank you guys for tuning into my channel. If you guys could do a couple of things for me, if you guys can go ahead and like, comment, subscribe to my channel if you guys have not done so already. Click the bell notification down below so YouTube can send you guys notifications whenever I release videos. Watch my videos all the way to the end. And if you guys could, share my videos and share my channel with anyone. I'm trying to grow my channel as much as I can, and I definitely need your guys' help in doing so. Getting started today's be Monday, August 7th. Sorry I didn't make a video a little bit sooner. I ended up buying a house last week, and I had to move all last week and over the weekend. So videos will hopefully be coming out sooner. The total market cap for all cryptocurrency right now is $1.16 trillion. This is a 0.3% decrease on the day today. Bitcoin right now is currently trading at $29,173, Ethereum $1,828, and XRP right now at 61.89 cents. So overall, we've been trending a little bit downward. Bitcoin did drop below 29,000. I think it got to $28,880. On our fear and greed index right now, we are at a 50. We are neutral. There's a lot of people that are speculating, though, because XRP, XDC, XLM are going down a little bit. Maybe it's the end. We're going to talk about it here in just a second. But our biggest gainers on the day today, HBAR is going to be up 5.9%. Link and BCH are both up 2.3%. Algorand up 2%. Biggest losers on the day today, XDC is going to be down 7.5%. You got FTT down 6.2%, and you guys got Comp down 6.3%. KAS is going to be down 8.1%. But a lot of people are saying, XRP, XLM, XDC, are down right now drastically in the last, day or week or whatever. But a lot of people don't realize this, like with the S&P 500, like our stock markets, year over year, you're lucky to get 4% return. You're doing well on your investment. And just in the last month, if we look at it, XDC is going to be up over 116%, XLM up 42.2%, and XRP is going to be up over 31.7%. If we look at the year, XLM is not very big right now, but we got XRP up 62.9% and XDC up 111%. KAS came out of nowhere, up 8,231%. But again, year over year, you're supposed to be only up about 4%. So if you're doing anything above 4%, you're doing very well. We got a lot of big news coming out of XRP, possibly XLM. We're going to talk about it again, so make sure you guys tune in all the way to the end of the video. Getting into our Watcher Guru news, Coinbase says the SEC has no authority to pursue its lawsuit. We're going to talk about the brief. Coinbase says that they expect to win their legal battle against the SEC. JP Morgan says they no longer expect a recession here in the United States. Obviously, this is just a play on words. They were trying to do a little bit of fear mongering for a little bit. Now they're trying to cut back a little bit, saying that we're doing a little bit better. But also, if you look at the textbook definition of what it used to be, we've already been in a recession. We've continued to be in a recession, but the current administration is just changing that definition. Elon Musk says X will never launch a crypto token. So again, no financial advice, but don't get involved in any of these meme tokens, in my opinion. Obviously, the ones that are just coming out with the new X logo and stuff like that, saying that they're going to be the new token for known as X now, but formerly Twitter. They're never going to launch one, Elon Musk said. So unless they officially change their minds, again, don't get involved. You could lose a lot of money. Former President Trump says he will end the expansion of 87,000 IRS agents that are trying to take your money and destroy our lives if elected in 2024. In my opinion, the 87,000 new IRS agents are unneeded. It's a lot of taxpayer dollars going to fund to investigate citizens on their taxes. Obviously, they keep on saying it's going to be for the individuals making a lot of money, but why do you need 87,000 new employees? Why can't you do that with the current staff? In August of 2022, the Senate passed a bill to hire that 87,000 agents, but in November, the U.S. Pentagon failed its fifth consecutive audit and it's unable to account for 61% of its $3.5 trillion in assets. So we're going to hire more individuals to investigate you and me because the taxpayer dollars fund the Pentagon's budget. yet they can't even figure out their own taxes or their own audits and stuff like that, figuring out where all their money is being spent. So this is what needs to get figured out, not us citizens. Moving on, though, Elon Musk says this fight against Mark Zuckerberg will be live streamed on X, and all proceeds will go to charity for veterans. I think that this is awesome if it goes to charity. Obviously, Elon Musk and Mark Zuckerberg do not need any more money. But I did see a report that Elon Musk might be hurt and he might need to get surgery. So pending that, we'll figure out a date for this new battle. Presidential candidate Vivek Ramaswamy, I'm probably saying it terribly wrong, says he will fire 90% of the Federal Reserve staff if elected in 2024. In my opinion, that's an excessive amount of individuals to fire. I need to look into this a little bit more before I comment. PayPal stablecoin PUSD is backed by the US dollar deposits, short-term treasury bills, and cash equivalents. In my opinion, I'm not a huge fan of this. We're going to talk about it a little bit more. In just a second, I have a little article for it. U.S. Congressman Patrick McKinney says stablecoins are a pillar of our 21st century payment system. It's great to see congressmen and women also in the courts right now, in Congress right now, trying to figure out actually some regulatory clarity on digital assets. PayPal integrate crypto stablecoin PYUSD on Venmo. So obviously Venmo is going to take over. Maybe Cash App will also. PayPal launches crypto stablecoin. Former President Trump says he will give the biggest tax cuts in U.S. history if elected in 2024. Obviously, we do need to have some tax cuts, in my opinion. Americans are struggling right now. We'll see where the tax cuts come from. Is it from the lower and middle class, or is it going to come from our higher ups, individuals making a lot of money? We'll see, and eventually. But a lot of these politicians promise these big things. We've seen some presidents deliver, again, especially former President Trump, but we'll see what happens in the coming election cycle. Jim Cramer says he sees more positives than negatives for the market ahead with economic growth and little inflation. This brings me a little bit of scary times in the markets, in my opinion. Again, if you've been following my channel, we've talked about Cramer and we have the inverse Cramer. Anything he says, we do the complete opposite. We'll figure that out, though. And then this just came out. For presidential candidate Robert F. Kennedy Jr. says he will end corrupt government and corporate power designed to strip the middle class of their assets and equity. Obviously, this would be a great move. I don't see him winning the Democratic primary. Again, I don't even see there going to be a Democratic primary. A lot of times that there's a president, they don't want anybody to run against him to try to tarnish that person's name. We'll see what happens here in the near future. Getting into this, though, major cyber attack disrupts hospitals in multiple states. So this happened in Connecticut, Pennsylvania, Texas, Rhode Island, and California. They actually had to close some hospitals and ambulance services and divert patients to different places. In my opinion, we'll figure out what happens with this. But this is scary. I mean, obviously, I worked in healthcare, and we need a lot of these systems up. They're life-saving mechanisms. In my opinion, we don't need to have cyber attacks going to hospitals. Obviously, we've seen cyber attacks towards the government also. And then an unmanned AI jet flight by U.S. Air Force. Should AI ever be able to kill humans? So this is the launch right here. But it kind of just brings out, what's that movie? We have Jessica Biel, and we also have Jamie Foxx movie Stealth. Stealth is what the movie was, where they had that little AI fighter jet, and then eventually Jamie Foxx gets shot, or he doesn't get shot down. He runs into a mountain. Trying to kill that AI. So we'll see what happens with that. It's kind of interesting, cool, but also kind of scary times. Biometric palm payments have come to Whole Foods in the United States. So pay with your guys' palms. Obviously, this girl's a little bit shocked. In my opinion, I do think that this was a little bit of an advertisement, and that they're going to use this for ad revenue and stuff like that. But in my opinion, I'm totally against this. I don't want to be able to pay with my palm, pay with my eyes, stuff like that. I should be able to use my cell phone, crypto wallets, and then again, if you guys want to, debit cards, credit cards, still around in our financial market, and then especially cash. In my opinion, I do like cash. A lot of people want to move away from that, but it's like your way of having your own control. We'll see what happens, though, especially with digital assets too. I do like that because you are in control of that. Stay humble and stack sats. The halving is in 254 days. This was on August 6th. So right now we're at 253 days away. But if we look at our charts, the halvening cycles have proven time and time again, no financial advice, but hopefully we're in for a nice bull run. People are predicting a $250,000 Bitcoin. In my opinion, I'm not sure where the markets are going to go. Obviously, a 250,000 Bitcoin would be nice. In my opinion, I don't know if we're going to get that high, but only time's going to tell. So, strap in, stay prepared. And then again, don't put any money into crypto that you can't technically afford to lose. There's a conference on September 20th to 22nd in NYC, the top conference for crypto professionals. It's not a festival, it's a bridge to mainstream adoption. So we got big names, Jeremy Allaire from Circle. We got Brian Armstrong for Coinbase, Alex Blinaria from Tools for Humanity. We got Danelle Dixon from Stellar Foundation, Brad Garlinghouse from Ripple, obviously the big man himself right there. We got people from Ledger, Off Chain Labs, Ava, Lens, Grayscale, and Solana. In my opinion, I'm going to be looking forward to this. We'll see what happens with this, but there's going to be a lot of useful information in the crypto space coming out of this conference. Revolt app is suspending its U.S. crypto service, citing an evolving regulatory environment. Obviously, there's regulatory uncertainty in the United States. Shame to see this happen. We'll see if they end up bringing it back. But PayPal is unveiling a new stablecoin, PayPal PYUSD. Now, I did some research into PayPal, and they processed over like $1.36 trillion in money transactions on their system last year. And then they also hold a little over $78 billion in assets. So obviously, this is a great move for PayPal. Obviously, it's a great move for cryptocurrency. They did use the Ethereum network. There's talks they're going to use other networks, but Ethereum is huge in fees, and they're going to probably pass those fees on to the customers. So in my opinion, I'm totally against this in that aspect with the fees, because the gas fees are really high on the Ethereum network. But Crypto Mason says Stellar XLM tells PayPal they are ready when PayPal is to put their new stablecoin on the Stellar network. Obviously, Stellar XLM is a great network, low fees. And then Stellar did actually come out that and says, props to PayPal. This is faster and affordable payments network is ready when you are. So we'll see what happens. Chicago-based firm with over 4,500 ATMs add support for XRP. Obviously, this is, again, bullish news for XRP. The small things keep on adding up for Ripple and the XRP token. Now, I'm in this huge space right here. We got XRP Stewie right here. I joined this space a little late, but I do join this quite often. But XRP Stewie hosts some great spaces, and he gets David Schwartz in sometimes. So if you guys want to listen to a lot of this stuff, he talks about a lot of what's going on with Ripple, with the lawsuits, where Ripple's going to be going with their company, and then possibly some things that are going to be going on with the XRP token and how it can be utilized, not just for big banks, but also small banks. Because like the big banks, he says that a lot of big banks like JP Morgan, Chase, and others, Bank of America, Wells Fargo, Charles Schwab, they can all create their own cryptocurrency token that's utilized, but a lot of the small banks can't. That's 90% of the banks. So they could use a token like the XRP token to settle transactions. Obviously, this is huge bullish news. And then here's another thing right here. Linda P. Jones says they pretty much describe what is happening with countries moving to a level playing field instead of being dominated by the dollar. So if your XRP will become very valuable. So again, just, watch this. In my opinion, again, everything's going to be down in the comments so you guys can do this, but it's just more bullish news. Paul Gruhl says, in all the years of bail revaccination hearings I did, never did anyone or an organization claim a First Amendment right to facilitate witness intimidation, and for good reason. That's not how the First Amendment works. So they're talking about the New York Times and Sam Bankman-Fried figuring out what they're going to do with this diary that Caroline Ellison had. He ended up handing over the diary to the courts. To the Department of Justice, but they're trying to use that in the court system, and he does not want that thing to see the light of day. So if you guys want to, you guys can read a little bit more into that. But in my opinion, he deserves to be jailed. There's a lot of evidence that have come out that he's been doing a lot of this stuff, but that's just my opinion on it. The SEC Gov has now turned over 324 pages of new documents in its response to the Crypto Conflicts FOIA request. And one of those was pretty important. So Digital Perspectives comes out and says, gee, that's funny. I don't remember them calling Brad Garlinghouse or Stuart Alderati. I remember the SEC suing Ripple, but I don't remember the SEC calling them like they did with Joseph Lubin before giving them a free pass. So in this, they have right here from William Hinman to a bunch of these individuals. And this is on the Ethereum speech. It says, attached, please find a draft of the speech I mentioned, suggest what we do and do not need to see and need to regulate Ether. So it says that we do not need to see a need to regulate Ether as it is a currently offered as a security. That language is in brackets and would be used if we are all in agreement. We also call with Buterin later, so Vitalik Buterin later this week, to confirm our understanding of how Ethereum Foundation operates. Please share your guys' comments with me. So essentially, they're asking individuals to not say that Ether is considered a security, but then they end up saying that it is not a security. They wanted to not have this in the speech because it would bring uncertainty, but Bill ended up having this in the speech that he gave it its free pass. In my opinion, totally against this. And then it's going to be investigated. But right here, Mr. Huber says Bill Hinman and Jay Clayton did not want to talk about XRP security status. So in this, it says towards the end of the meeting, Garlinghouse briefly noted that Ripple was in perpetuatory due to the uncertainty as whether XRP, the cryptocurrency with which Ripple is associated, is or is not a security. In response, Chairman Clayton immediately stated that the meeting was not the proper forum for a discussion about the topic. He then asked Garlinghouse to back up from the issue and steered the meeting back to the discussion about Ripple's business and technology. So this just shows, again, this is in 2018. They did get a lawsuit filed to them in January of 2020, but there was speculation that they were going to get sued in December of 2019. So Brad Garlinghouse went into the SEC like they were asked to, tried to receive clarity, figure out what was going well, what was not going well with the token, and then they were told, this isn't the right time, right way, and then they get sued. So this just shows a bunch of new evidence coming out of a bunch of these requests. We'll see what happens with this. More bullish news coming out of Hedera. So just the Hedera Governing Council doing governing council things. So this new company right here, ABRDN PLC, ends up joining the governing council. They're sitting at the top right now, just showing that they're the new member. But we got big names: Google, IBM, LG, just to name a few, Boeing, Dell. All of these you guys know about. Obviously, some of these are not in the United States, but just shows bullish news for HBAR and the Hedera community. And then 2 weeks on Hedera, we already talked about Hyundai and Kia announced their AI SCEMS supply chain use case. And then Fresh Supply Co. AU connects Hedera to MasterCard. Again, more bullish news. Again, Hedera is not, or HBAR is not a blockchain company. They're more of a hash graph. So do your guys' own research, but I do love the HBAR token. Getting into our biggest news, Ripple. So crypto Eri, some people say Eri, just depending on where you are. But Ripple has joined the ISDA 100% focused derivatives. Officers include Blackrock, Society Generate, directors of JP Morgan. We got Citi, Goldman Sachs, BNY Mellon, London Stocks Exchange, Bank of America, Intercontinental Exchange. There's a bunch. If we go onto the website right here, and again, there's a bunch of people saying like this is terrible, they're paying. But if we look at this right here, there's an associate membership due. So it looks like everyone has to pay a membership due to be a part of this. And again, companies pay all the time for advertisement. So I don't see why paying to join a membership community that's going to help grow your business is a bad thing. But if we go to our membership showcase and we click digital assets, we'll get taken to a web page right here. And we got Algorand right here. That's a big one. Crypto.com is another one. I don't know why it went away. So we got Algorand, Crypto.com, and then Ripple Labs right here. So again, they just joined a huge community. Obviously, hugely bullish on this. And again, because if we look at right here, Rob Cunningham shows the derivatives markets are huge, $500 trillion in derivatives. More bullish news for XRP price action. We'll see what happens though. And then the last thing, Digital Perspectives comes out and says knee bone connected to the leg bone. So Sunil Bakashi is one of the board of directors of International Swaps and Derivatives, the ISDA, which Ripple just joined. He also happens to be the president and CEO of Citigroup Global Markets of Japan. We know that Ripple is in Japan. So again, board of directors, Citigroup right here, and possibly a link into Japan. Again, we'll see what happens here in the near future with this. Chris Larson has come out with Ripple, and they created a new business model, a new company right here called Centrigade. Centrigade is launching today to bring increased trust and participation to the voluntary carbon market together with our partners Ripple, Rocky Mountain, and Synergized Our Earth for climate integrity. So he says the voluntary carbon market is a key component to fighting devastating climate change, but has been long overdue for an upgrade. Congratulations to Centrigade Earth on today's launch. This is really huge in my opinion. Obviously, we need to be carbon neutral. I do teach environmental science, but I teach about the real stuff that's going on. And obviously, again, we do need to grow more trees. And also, we know how expensive and how bad our current financial market systems is for the environment. And crypto can actually help with that. Moving on, though, Monica Long gives a light bulb to this right here, talking about X payments. So, Elon Musk said that X is going to become the new financial hub. So Brendan Barry got a light bulb from Monica Long and says, if X wants to become the best place on the internet to earn a living, as Elon tweeted, crypto has to be on Elon's mind. Here's my personal thoughts and musings as to how. To the best, you can't think US only. The universe of creators needs to be paid in a currency slash country of their choice. If I were a creator, this would be one of the top on my wish list. However, it's likely an average check for a creator will be small. After X pays for the FX costs, the international wires fees, etc., it will cost X more to send the funds than the actual creator's paycheck itself, especially if X didn't predispose funds in a destination's market. Also, very capital intensive. Additionally, X would need to require creators to already have a bank account to get paid, which is restrictive in itself. Less than 20% of the world's population is unbanked. Traditional means of payments, someone cross border in fiat, are far from instant, currently average multiple business days in many corridors, which can hardly live up to Elon's definition of the best. Enter crypto. If X were to leverage crypto to pay creators, X would be able to pay creators instantly with providing an incredible amount of currently flexible fiat-backed stablecoins, as well as a public crypto. Bitcoin, Ethereum, XRP, etc., have various upsides and are also broadly accessible. If X really wanted to differentiate, they could pay their creators immediately 24 hours a day through using crypto. X could pay a creator using crypto every hour, for example, for revenue generated through content engagement related ad revenue. Furthermore, by partnering with others who can support crypto off ramps, as mentioned in the article, the creators can immediately liquidate the crypto for fiat if they choose and have instant access to their fiat in their country. Best of all, X crypto would likely be a cheaper for them to pay creators. X gets an influx of working capital, eliminating pre-funding slash international wire fees, and creators get real-time payments in the currency of their choice. A win-win. Sounds like the best place for the internet to earn a living to me. And again, Monica Long gave a light bulb. For those of you guys that don't know, she's the president over at Ripple. Brad Garlinghouse is the CEO. Moving on, though, Jeremy Hogan says the SEC absolutely believes that XRP itself is a security, and Judge Torres clearly reputed that. So there's a lot of people that are saying that XRP is not considered a security by the SEC. They're only being charged with it. But in the documents, they actually do come out and say that XRP would be considered a security as the token sits itself. Stuart Alderati says, at all relevant times during the offering, XRP was an investment contract and therefore a security subject to the registration requirements of the federal securities laws. And that's what they were getting sued with. So, again, they've lost that in the case with Torres, especially for secondary markets. We're going to see what happens with initial offerings. They're still going to court with that. We'll update you guys as more information comes out. Paul Grewal comes out and says, from the SEC suit against Coinbase is set to be challenged, as the exchange's chief legal officer, Paul Grewal, says it will file it to dismiss the regulatory case on August 4th, which they did. For most people, Friday is just the day before the weekend, but after this Friday, the neighborhood I'll be living, the neighborhood will never be the same. And I agree. You know, he did file this, and then again, we're trying to see what happens with it. We're waiting for the courts to decide. But he did come out and say today, Coinbase filed this brief asking the courts to dismiss the SEC's case against us. Our core argument is simple. We do not offer investment contracts. As to the term, and has been constructed by decades of Supreme Court and other binding precedents, By ignoring the precedent, the SEC has violated due process, abused its discretion, and abandoned its own earlier interpretations interpretations of the securities laws. By ignoring that precedent, the SEC has trampled in the strict boundaries of the basis of authority of Congress set by Congress in 2-3. We appreciate the court's careful consideration. And again, one of the precedents was the Ripple versus the SEC case that Judge Torres ruled in favor for secondary markets. And the last thing, James K. Filan says that he agrees, or Stuart Alderati agrees, that Bill Hinman should be investigated. An investigation will either put it to rest or hold folks accountable. And then this right here, it says, for the SEC official, Bill Hinman was correct. Yes, I have read that Bill Hinman might have acted unethically or unlawfully, at least according to some reports. The FBI should investigate the so-called Hinman emails, and if evidence shows unlawful conduct, DOJ should prosecute. But Bill Hinman's conduct is in a weak deflection, a total red herring, and has little to do with the application of securities laws. So a little bit more information is going to be coming out this week on crypto. Get ready for some volatile price actions, in my opinion. Again, no financial advice. Thank you guys for watching to the end of this video. And if you guys can invest with the big dog, stay on the porch. Thank you guys and have a good one.